It was about 1:45. I was having a sandwich, and the Amazon guy has delivered some parts I ordered. That is a new switch for the boot lid on the car. I'm hoping that that is the problem. I'm hoping that I will be able to fit it. In order to assist me, I have ordered also that, and that has been delivered at the same time. So, it's going to be game on. I'm going to get the car around the back and then see if I can open the boot. If I can't, then that'll be the first obstacle. And then the big headache is getting the trim off the inside of the boot, I think. I think all the rest should be fairly straightforward. Just unclip and unbolt and undo and put back in. Anyway, I'll shut up. Game on. Right, the car's around the back. The hatch opened and closed like a normal. Although it was like a flipping sauna in there. It's been sat out in the sun. Yeah, thankfully I got the hatch open. So yeah, as I say, game on. This is the bit that worries me, because I'm convinced that as I try and prise this, trim panel off, is, all of those fastenings. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're going to break, aren't they? You just know they are. Anyway, let's give it a go. I don't even know which of these tools I should try and use. I have no idea. No idea at all. Yeah, anyway, yeah, we're going to give it a go. Well, surprisingly, I didn't even use that. I just put my fingers in there and went for it. Perhaps it's because it's so warm at the moment, it's helping. But there's the trim. Managed to just do it by hand. Push my fingers in and just it popped out. I bet getting it back in will be a bit of a fiddle. But right, so here we are. That in there. Oops, there with the block connector. That's the switch that I'm going to replace. And it's just working perfectly at the moment. So is that the problem even? I don't know. Who can tell? But that's what we're going to try and remove. That. And it shouldn't be difficult. Anyway, as I say, it's at the moment it's working perfectly okay. There's the lock mechanism. So let's pretend I've just slammed it shut. And so try and get my finger in there to lock it. I'm in trouble seeing what I'm doing here. Right, there it is. That's the lock locked. You can see that would be sort of grabbing onto that there. So that's locked. And if I reach in here, I'm trying not to scratch the car, so I got all the stuff here. If I press the button, immediately, without question, bang, straight open. No messing. So is it even the switch that's at fault here? I've got a new one, so I'm going to fit it. I'm not even sure it's the switch. It's working perfectly okay at the moment. Interesting. Before I started, I thought, what the hell? I got nothing to lose. I'll spray a bit of WD-40 onto these nuts here. These two are the ones I'm going to do. They were flipping hardly finger tight anyway. Remember that when I put it back together. We shall be taking those nuts off. I've undone the block connector to it as well. So yeah, they were hardly tight. We shall be undoing those. Okay, so with those two nuts off and a bit of feeding of the grommet and all the rest of it, the whole thing comes away like that. I'll feed the block connector through without damaging it. There we go. Not that it matters, as it'll be on the new one, won't it? So there we are. That's the
handle out. So it's a case of undoing all these screws here. Have I even got fitments to fit those? Uh-oh. They're star fitments. I'm not sure I've even got any of those. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, cut. Well, as luck would have it, I do have all of the sizes, and there's the one that I need. I didn't even know I had those. There they are, on a Stanley set that I didn't buy an enormous number of years ago. I thought I'd treat myself to a decent screwdriver set, and lo and behold, it's just come in very handy, because I don't have any of those otherwise, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, yeah, I need to have what I'm doing them now. Maybe a bit of WD-40 again. Actually, before I do touch them there, it's interesting, isn't it? Does that show on the camera there? No, it doesn't. Just there, look. You can see there's a split in the rubber there. I can get my thumbnail in there and part it. That's the back of the switch. So there's actually a split in the rubber there. So that does make me hope it is the switch. Other than that, I mean, it was working perfectly a minute ago, and other than that, it seems to click quite nicely. When I press it, there's a proper click there, so I don't see what else it could be. You know, the lock seems to be functioning. Yeah, it's got to be this. I mean, I've got the new part, I'm going to try and fit it. Bit of WD-40 on these star screws before I start messing with those. Do not want anything to go wrong here. Okay, that's the last of the screws removed. Get that one out of there. Let's put those safe. We need to make sure they're safe. And that whole assembly should now just come out of there. Like that. There we go. That is hopefully what I've got new in a packet, wherever I've put it. Yeah, look at all the fractured rubber here. So what's the story, I wonder? Doesn't look in good shape, does it, really? Okay, there's the new one. It looks pretty similar. You would hope so, wouldn't you? Yeah, there's the two of them together. That's the old one. That's the new one. I think the cable might be just slightly longer, actually, but not that that's going to make any difference. Anyway, we're fitting the new one for sure, because of the split in the rubbers and all of that there. To be honest with you, the old one, as you would expect, it feels heavier, it feels more solid. This Chinese one is lighter, there's less weight to it, so yeah, it's like everything Chinese, isn't it? It's hasn't got the quality, but if it works, it works. I don't quite know how we're going to know, because it was intermittent anyway, so I'm going to have to just use the car for a bit and see if it happens again, isn't I? Anyway, let's get it fitted, let's get it on there. Okay, I've not fully tightened the nuts up yet, but it's back on the car. And it is plugged in, and let's pretend it's locked. That's pretending it's locked. Will it unlock? Yeah, it does. Yeah. That noise, it's a dreaded noise, because I learnt to hear that when I'm driving down the flipping road. And all sorts of trouble happened. Well, I've fitted the new one, let's tighten those nuts up and see if we can get that thing back on in place, and then we're done, and it's just a case of, well, has that solved the problem? Who knows? Who knows? Actually, I'm missing a trick there, aren't I? Right, the nuts are tightened up. Right, let's pretend I've locked it. Right, that's the car shut. Now, using the key, let's lock it. Now, theoretically, I should not be able to operate that now. it shouldn't work. I am pressing the button, nothing is happening, as it shouldn't. Right, so if I now unlock it, now it should work. With a deafening clunk. Okay. There's nothing else I can do really, is there? Let's try and get this trim back on. Actually, I've been faffing around for ages. It's all done. Only time will tell now. I need to drive the car around and stuff. I've been faffing about and doing this and that. And yeah, that went about as well as it could possibly have gone. That's the packaging to be disposed of. The switch. What have I done with the old switch? Where's that? It's out here. And as it turned out, that was a waste of time buying. I didn't need it at all. Probably should have tried without, before I'd even ordered the part. But, well, I got it for the future now, haven't I? When something else goes wrong. Anyway, yeah. Long since done, a good hour or so ago. Finished, trim's all back in place. Wiped a bit of the dirt off. Reset the mountains of rubbish I got in the back of the car there to act as a bed for bear. I need to sort something out better there. In an ideal world, I'd take the back seats out, but I just don't want the hassle. So there's a great big sort of lump where the back seats fold forward. Big lump. It'd be better if I took the seats out. Anyway, we're all done. I've got to get the car back round the front, and I might actually just go for a drive. We shall see. Given how late it is, all the pirate things should be pretty much finished by now. So it might be clear to drive about a bit. Might even get a place to park near Battery, who knows. We'll see. We're going to drive around just a tiny bit. We might just go straight to Battery actually. we're going to use the car because now we think we need to see whether or not that issue will reoccur. Only time's going to tell, so let's get out and drive about a bit. Still saying road ahead closed. I thought it would be open by now. I've got a wind turbine on this thing. Crikey. Still closed. That's not right. What are we going to do here? We're going to have to turn right then, aren't we? What time is it open? It is 5 o'clock. In which case we're just going in the wrong direction to nowhere. I think what we're going to do is just head to Battery. I mean, we're using the car. That's the no matter where we're going, it's that's the main thing, is to be using the car and see if that problem reappears. I'll be horrified if it flipping does. It really will be. On Burton Street, and there is the Burton, just to prove it. Doctors Road. Don't have any doctors anymore. They have to rename that one.